I'd love for you to kind of lean into your philosophy around safety as a cultural value, like for people who are coming here, what that means and what that doesn't mean
Sure.
in the workplace.
I describe it a bit like if you're on an airplane, and I'm not a great flyer. I don't really like it. I don't understand how it works, which I think is why I don't like it. If there's ever turbulence, I will start to kind of clam up and sweat, and I'll hold my seat slightly. And what I really like in the situations is I always look at the person in authority over me in that moment, which is the cabin crew. And how did the cabin crew look in that moment of like turbulence and bumpiness? They're so well trained that they are literally trained to look like everything's under control and it's all going to be okay. This is perfectly normal. And ultimately we are safe. And
Not
I think
clutching onto their own seatbelts, you mean?
Yeah. Whatever they're thinking in their head is irrelevant. How they are projecting is a sense of safety. And I think that when the person over you looks scared and looks worried, you as an individual become that too. But the inverse must also therefore be true, which is when that person in authority over you, i.e. the cabin crew in this little story, looks cool and calm and in control, if they're safe, I'm safe too. And I think that's probably what my late dad did for me in aspects of my life, made me feel safe to be around him. And I think that's what I wanted to try and do in a business, which is, I speak a lot about psychological safety, which is the kind of bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is kind of a foundational thing. Without it, you can do nothing. You can't even begin to have a conversation. It's a challenging conversation that you inferred earlier. You can't even begin to praise someone because they won't even hear you, because they'll be hearing the difficult things or the things you might have also said that made them feel unsafe. Safety is just so much of the bedrock that all humans need. It's not just a work thing. I always people have this kind of funny way of looking at work as if it's somehow completely different. If you watch Severance on Apple TV, as if like when you come into work, suddenly everything, psychology, life changes. It doesn't. So I always refer things back to people's maybe relationships and trying to, or their relationship with their mother or father. If you don't feel trusted at home, if you don't feel like your other half is listening or is there or unconditionally loves you, i.e. if the environment at home doesn't feel calm and you can be you will not show up as your best self for you, for your partner, for your children if you have them, and so on and so on. It's exactly the same at work. So I think it is completely foundational. I think it is unkind not to have the challenging conversation. So that's how I frame it in my head. There is always going to be situations in any employment, no matter how nice it is, that are complicated to have. And actually, if we allow a lot of low to average performance, ultimately the business won't work. And if you look outside, and not literally, but outside in the world right now, especially in this country, big businesses and small ones are closing every single day. It is tragic what's happening. And I'm not saying that's all because of mismanagement. There's lots and lots of reasons. But sometimes a reason is, especially perhaps in more of the kind of public or charitable sector, they're struggling perhaps more so. And again, lots of reasons for that. But one reason might be they're dressed up to be these kind of warm, cuddly, lovely places because they're a charity. And they use that to hide behind what has to happen, which is a conversation. And so my point would be, to string all this answer together, when you have psychological safety as a foundation, it is much easier to have a hard conversation. I can say to you, JJ, I am loving working with you. You have been a delight. These last few years have been excellent. But JJ, do you mind if I say I have noticed this last kind of 6 months or so, I've just noticed a slight change in your attitude, your timing, the caliber of your work. Are you okay? What's going on? Is there something at home affecting you? Have I missed something? Am I completely wrong, by the way? What do you think? You frame it like that in a safe, kind way. And by the way, that conversation can't just be 3 minutes. There needs to be months of work gone into that kind of chat of foundational safety. I believe that JJ, who I've only met today for the first time, is more likely to be open and vulnerable and say, yeah, you're right. Do you know what? I hadn't put my finger on it until now, but something isn't quite clicking. I'm a bit scared. I don't even know what it is, but I'd love to talk about it. Because I do know fundamentally, and one of your culture things here, Matt, I do know that like talking about it is half the answer often. I also know that action is so often the antidote to difficult moments and times. So I'll be vulnerable. I'm not scared of you, Matt, that I'm going to lose my job if I say something truthful. But if this is a conversation the way you framed it to be, then we're more likely to get to the other side of it. Yep. And actually, that is literally my career. That's all my experience. And I speak to employees all the time and they're like, oh, Matt, that's not true. That's not real life. No, it can be real life and it is real life.
Yeah.
But it takes a certain amount of thought, care, consideration, and intentionality. Yeah. Hello from me and from Otto, my dog. Thank you so much for watching one of my videos. I'm so grateful to you. This is a brand new YouTube channel. And I think since I left Clownfish, having run that place for 16.5 years, I finally worked out that all I want to do in my life is to be helpful to what I think is an increasingly lost and lonely working world. And that's probably both sides of the coin, those that do the jobs and those that lead the teams that do the jobs. So if you want to be part of that and you like this kind of content, I'd love your help to grow this channel. I'd love you to A, press like, and B, subscribe. Or just check you're subscribed anyway. And C, maybe tell your friends. I know everyone says like and subscribe. I finally worked out why that's important. It helps grow reach, helps open doors, and ultimately it'll start to do cool things like get me guests, which I'd love to do. I've got some big plans. I want to be helpful, I believe I can. So please be part of it, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I'm very grateful. Thank you so much from me and from Otto. He's a bit distracted. Thanks a lot. See you soon. Bye-bye.